Now only a few minutes or less than that even until we're about to get started. So one last reminder for the most recent people that joined in, please find the chat box so that you can ask questions throughout. If they haven't been addressed, I'll do my very best to make sure they're answered through the Q&A later on. I also do want to mention that I am under the flight path tonight, so if you do hear a little bit of noise in the background, that's probably what it is. Okay, so it's now 8 o'clock, at least where I am, so let's get started. Hi there and welcome to this masterclass, How to Confidently Create a New Career. To get the most out of this training, I recommend, if you possibly can, to go somewhere quiet and to turn off your phone, to really give yourself this time to discover some new strategies on how you can create a new engaging career, one that is also a perfect fit with your life. And do stick around, as I have a great bonus if you stay with me until the end. And in today's masterclass, I'm going to share with you what you need to do to create a new engaging career. And I will also share some strategies on how to overcome some limiting mindsets that will so easily stop you from create this new career of yours. But before we get on to that, let me start telling you a bit about myself, who I am and why I'm doing this masterclass. So I'm Hannah Gerling. I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 3 very willful children, I'm a business owner, a career coach, and I'm also a serial expat. And the expat element in this is sort of how it all started. And I do remember still that day so clearly. It was a warm summer's day, blue skies, sunshine, and I was away on holiday with my partner. And we were about to board a boat for a day out on this crystal clear lake, and he gets a call. And this was a call about a new job. And not just any new job, but one that required us to move. And this was a move to Africa, a continent where I had never set my foot before. And however, as I'm quite up for an adventure, I have to say I was quite excited. And South Africa amazed me. It's so busy, so dusty, the constant sunshine and friendly people all around. But it didn't take too long and I started to feel a bit lost. I didn't really know anyone and I was in this new place, and my job that had always been quite a big part of my life now just wasn't a fit anymore. So what was I going to do? It turned out it was time to reinvent what I do. And so I did. And it's now 10 years ago since I made the switch from being a chemical engineer to becoming a coach. And I have to say it was the best thing I could ever have done. So now, for the past 10 years, I've been focusing on helping people to create careers and lives that they want, and also where they can thrive. And this is what I want to do for you too. Then I also have this thing about doing things the best way possible. And an example here is that every time I move, I trial all the possible ways to drive to the office to make sure that I find the best one. And another thing I do is that when I do go food shopping, I pack the trolley in a particular order so that I can unpack it onto the belt and then pack it into the bag so that when I do come home, it is as quick, as easy as possible to get all the stuff out of the way. And I know these are 2 silly examples, but where it really makes it relevant to you is that I also do this when it comes to work. So for years I've now been coaching people on how to create new careers. And every time I do that, I keep refining the process. I amplify what works, I'll remove and change what doesn't work. And I keep researching new things, testing them out to make sure I can help people create new careers as effectively as possible. So the good news is that I now have a very robust and proven process. And it's a process that will get you result. And that result is a new engaging career. So now over to you. Tell me, are you waking up every day feeling excited and engaged? And knowing that your career is leaving you feeling happy and fulfilled and is a perfect fit with your life? If not, what is stopping you? One thing I can tell you for sure is that you can have a career that's truly engaging and that also fits perfectly with your life. I know because I've done it for myself more than once. And I have also helped hundreds of women just like you, where their life has changed for one reason or another, and they needed to create a new career. So if your life has changed, maybe you moved country or simply changed after having kids or something else, but you know it's time to do something different, but you're not sure where to start. Or maybe you're just dreaming about having a career that's truly engaging and that is more than just a paycheck. And if any of these sounds like you, then you're going to love what I'm about to share. Because the reality is that there is something stopping you. Maybe you're thinking that it's too late to change and that you don't have time to retrain and start from scratch. Or simply that finding a job that is engaging and fits your life is just not possible to find. Or maybe you feel that you invested so much in your degree and current career that you just can't change. And that last one, that completely used to be me. So after spending years on my degree and investing in my corporate career, I thought that was what I was supposed to do. I think that's why I struggled when we first moved, because I was so hung up on being a chemical engineer. But when I got over that and really started looking at what had engaged me in doing that, I could then explore different options, and I found my new career in coaching. And I have to say, it wasn't quite as straightforward as what I will share with you today. But the point is that I found a new career, something completely different, and that truly engages me even 10 years on. This, however, does not mean that when I found coaching, I was set for life. So after I started, you could fast forward a few years, and I was a mother of 3. And I'm sure all you mothers out there can relate to this. Because then my life just needed a different setup. So to make sure I could still have a career and life that were a perfect match, I had to again look at what I was doing. As I had found my passion though in coaching, my reinvention was less drastic. And I decided to leave my job as a consultant and set up my own business. Knowing it would be hard work, but it would also allow me the flexibility that I needed. And that was the birth of TaxShe. TaxShe is a business helping women to excel in life and career through transformative coaching. Then a few years on, and we made another move. And there I was, the business that I had built was not a match with my life, because all my clients were in the location we just moved from. So again, I needed to redesign what I was doing. And it turned out it was time for my business to become more accessible and more agile by going virtual. So this allowed me to keep doing what I love in a way that is also perfect fit with my life. And it turns out also fits my clients perfectly. So a win-win all around. So that was a little bit about my story, how I have redesigned my life or my career several times to be a perfect fit with my life, and also one that truly engages me. And redesigning her career is also what Hannah Purney did. So Hannah went from being a sports marketing manager to having her own business. This is a business helping expats transition into the new country and also making an impact while they are abroad. And making an impact is something that Hannah is truly passionate about. And this is also a perfect fit for her because it offers her the flexibility she needs having 3 young kids. And then Gretchen Wilson Prangley, another client of mine. She was a journalist who really wanted to make a difference for children in Africa. So she went out and she founded and now runs Play Africa, a not-for-profit organization taking play-based learning to children across Africa. So imagine that feeling, doing something that engages and energizes you and that is also a perfect fit with your life. And yes, that can be you. So where do we start? Let's begin with the limiting mindsets that will so easily stop you from creating this new career. First, though, I do like to mention that limiting mindsets are very common in all areas of life. And the trick is to spot them. Because when you do become aware of them, of the thoughts that are stopping you from creating the life that you really want, then you can reframe and you can get your mind to work with you instead of against you. So now let's talk about the limiting mindsets. And the first one is, I have invested so much time and effort into my degree and current career that is what I should do. And this is a common one, though if you actually look at the statistics, most university graduates don't actually work with anything in relation to their degree. And also, if you look at happiness and fulfillment at work, the people that actively decide or change their career score much higher here than people that just stay. So remember, here you need to reframe to your degree can be anything you decide. Another limiting mindset that can so easily stop you is thinking that work is work and it's not meant to be fun. It's what pays the bills. And yes, of course, your work should pay the bills, but enjoyment should be the starting point for your next career, not the outcome. So here, reframe to enjoyment should be the guide to finding you the right career. Let's move on to a third mindset that may well stop you from creating a new career. And that is that it's now too late to change and that you don't have time to retrain and start from scratch. To this I can tell you, it is never too late to create a career and life that you love. And I also think it's worth pointing out that you are never starting from scratch. Throughout your life, you have built up a wealth of knowledge and experience in so many parts of your life, no matter what you've been doing professionally. And this is something that you can always tap into. So, to give you an example here, maybe you have been a stay-at-home mom for the past few years. Think about the experience you have gained. Everything from time management and planning to problem solving and crisis management. Not to least mention negotiation skills, huh? And these are all really valuable skills that you can take with you to your next career. And then my last point on this is that you might as well start now, because today is the first day of the rest of your life and you might as well make the most of it, right? So that's how to reframe to make sure that your mind works with you instead of against you. Now let's move on to the proven system that will help you create a new engaging career that also fits perfectly with your life. And then we have number 1, know your why. You do need to be ultra clear on why you are thinking about creating a new career. Is it that you want more money? Is it that the work environment is really bad? Or has your life changed and your current job is no longer a fit? Whatever it is, you need to be clear on this. You need to know what problem you are trying to solve. Otherwise, you may end up spending all your time and effort creating a new career to end up exactly where you started. And here you also want to take the time to figure out what truly engages you and energizes you. As I mentioned earlier, this should really be the starting point for your next career. And this you can do quite simply. What you need to do is to monitor when you're feeling engaged and energized. So take notes of what action that you are doing then. Also take notes of when you're feeling bored and restless and what you are doing then. So by having a good understanding of this, then you can create a career that's based on the right activities and will be an engaging one, rather than hoping that engagement will be an outcome of working hard. So, and this part can be really powerful, especially if you are on a career break. And when you're on a career break, for whatever reason, it can quite easily happen that you feel some part of your identity is missing, or even a bit lost. And through this exercise, you get to rediscover your joys and really connect with yourself. So I think it's really important here to point out that there is no need to reinvent you, only what you do. So that's step number 1, know your why. Now let's move to step number 2, find your compass. So when you know why you need a new career and what is engaging and energizing, then it's time to figure out your direction. Where are you going? This is a really important step to create a new career that is both engaging and also fits with your life. And here you need to do a few things. So firstly, you need to be clear on your big picture. So your big picture is your vision for your life. What does your perfect life look like in, say, 5 to 10 years' time? What do you do? Where do you live? What is your house like? And who is there with you? Make sure you dream big and then try to make it clear. Put in descriptors. What does it smell like when you come home? And what are the colors around you? Try to make it as descriptive as possible, because that will make it easier for your brain to stay connected to. And it also makes it clear that this is what you are working towards. And knowing your big picture will really help to ground you in times of uncertainty. It will also help you make the right decisions, the decisions that will take you to where you want to go. So make sure you have a clear, big picture, okay? Then when you have that, you also need to align your outlook on life and your outlook on work. This is really important to create a career that is truly engaging. And your outlook on life is basically how you view the world. So here you can ask yourself questions like, what is a good life? What makes it meaningful? What has joy and sorrow got to do with it? What is good and what is bad? And then you need to do the same for your outlook on work. So ask yourself, what is work for? What makes good work good? What does money have to do with it? And what does experience and growth have to do with it? I know this all sounds a bit philosophical, but it's important to do this because you need to have your two outlooks aligned. That's the only way you can live a truly meaningful life. So make sure you define them and make sure that you align them. And when you have done that, you have that two aligned outlooks, your big picture, then you have your direction and you are set to go. And that takes us on to step number 3, create alternatives. To be able to find the best career for you, you do need to create options. And I'm talking real alternatives here. So a marketing consultant or a management consultant, they are not two options. They are two versions of the same alternative. And when you ideate, first start thinking about areas you would like to work in. Is it some industry you've dreamt about being in? And write down all the ideas that comes to mind and try to do this as quickly as possible, because you don't want to allow your brain to start censoring potentially great ideas. And this happens when you allow yourself time, because then your logical part of the brain will kick in and start giving you lots of reasons why this is not a great idea. So don't let that happen. Then when you have a few areas, it's about to create some job roles. And here you need to make sure that you've found your different alternatives on something that really engages and energizes you. So this is where you look back at when you monitored the activities that you were doing. So you want to have that as a foundation for creating a job that is right for you. And again, when you ideate here, do it quickly and allow crazy ideas as well, because ideas often feed off each other, and you really do not want to stop your jackpot from emerging by cutting it off too soon. So then what you do is that you look at your areas and you look at your job roles and you try to combine them into 3 possible and exciting career alternatives. And do note that if they're not truly exciting, then it's time to go back to the drawing board, ideate again. Not until you have 3 exciting alternatives are you going to move on to step number 4. Step number 4 is to test it out. So now you have 3 or at least 2 possible career alternatives. To make sure you don't invest too much time and effort in building this new career that may or may not be a perfect fit, make sure you test it out first. This will allow you to figure out if it is what you imagined, and if it is something that you can really see yourself doing for months and even years on end. And if you find out it isn't, you will have invested very little and you can take the guesswork out and go for a career that you know will be a right fit. And basically, it allows you to fail fast and to fail forward. And to be honest, if you do hit the jackpot straight away, then brilliant. Then you can embark on this new journey with great confidence. And what do I mean by testing? By simply getting somebody's story, you can come a long way. And this is someone who is doing what you're looking to do, or at least something quite similar. Try to meet them for a coffee. Ask them, how did they get to where they are? And what are the really good days looking like? What are the activities that really makes them thrive? And also then find out about the hard parts. This will be really useful information. And you will find out if this is something that you can see yourself doing. And if there is something that you hadn't thought of. And if you do want to take it one step further, you can go for a testing experience and maybe shadow someone for a day and then really get to see what happens. And that's the testing. Then we're on to step number 5, which is to make it all happen. And I know this sounds really simple and obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many actually fails this step and therefore get stuck doing what they've always been doing. And what you need to do here is to make sure that you create your new career, is that you set goals and that you hold yourself accountable. And when you define your goals, make sure that they are specific. And also make sure that these goals become a priority. And a good way to make them a priority is to visualize what a day in this new life with this new career would look like. When you wake up in the morning, how do you feel going to work and knowing it's going to be in this new role? What do you wear? Try to connect with the feelings. And just like with your big picture, add descriptors, because then your mind will start helping you making it a priority, pushing it to the front of your mind so you stay connected to it and will make it happen. And this is the power of our minds, the ways we can get them to work with us instead of against us. And then we have accountability. And holding yourself accountable is a key step in getting you to where you want to be. And there are different layers of accountability. And one really simple way to do this is to declare your goals. So what are the goals that you have set around creating this new career of yours? Tell your partner or your family or friends, or maybe even on social media. And by doing this, you add that little bit of external pressure that is so good for productivity and also for achieving what you want. So that's step number 5. Of course, you also need to do the elements of networking and updating your social media profiles. But none of that is likely to happen unless you set your goals and hold yourself accountable. So, what do you think? I'm, of course, not exactly sure why you are here, but if I take a guess, you may not be happy with your current situation and you want to have a job that's engaging and fits perfectly with your life. And deep down, you do know that you can have a career that engages you, pays the bills, and leaves you feeling happy and fulfilled. And if that's you, then it's time to step up and take charge and really create this new engaging career of yours. Because it's your time. And do remember that nothing of what I have shared with you is unproven theory. I've used every single of these strategies for myself and for many women just like you to create careers that are truly engaging and that also fits with our lives. I'm not extra special. I don't have access to exclusive stuff. I just have a process that works. And like I mentioned before, that has been refined over years of working with this. And if I can do this, then you can too. So if you would like to go to work feeling engaged and energized, and now feel ready to create a career that is right for you, then you have 2 options. And option number 1 is to do it the complicated and confusing way, trying to research all the steps, finding out what different options are out there. And if you're diligent, I'm sure you get there, but it's likely to take you some time. Or you can do it the simple and strategic way and get the key and unlock the gate straight away. And I'm sure you can guess which option I think you should choose. The simple one, of course, and join our Career Design Lab. So this is a coaching lab that is highly practical and will help you create a new engaging career in as little as 49 days. The Career Design Lab consists of 7 modules, and the first one is looking at you and your career right now. This is where we really dig a bit deeper about what is good in your life right now and what is working less well. We really need to understand the starting point, and a simple analogy here is going on a road trip. So let's decide you decided to go on a road trip to Paris. The journey there will be quite different if you start in London compared to Barcelona, right? Yeah? So that's why we really need to know your starting point. And all the work in this module will be the foundation for creating your new engaging career. Then the second module is when you start ideating and creating your career alternatives. And this is really where the fun begins. And here you get the step-by-step guide, all the tools and techniques you need to come up with the 3 real options. And these options are all based on what engages and energizes you, because that we have really looked into in Module 1. But we don't actually start with the 3 career alternatives. We actually build 3 alternative life plans. And this is to make sure that these are not just exciting careers, but that they also fit with your life. Because that is important to really make this happen. So that's module 2. Then in module 3, we start looking a bit deeper into your alternative plans. We try to find out how you truly feel about your options. What is great about them? What excites you? And is there something that you haven't thought of? An important part here is actually to share your plans out with other people. And you will also learn in this module about the power of feedback. Who to ask and how to make sure that you get the information that you need. People are often helpful, but they often also want to give you advice or just really how they feel about this. And that is not necessarily what's going to help you move forward. And then we end this module by learning some simple techniques of how to effectively make decisions. And we learn this, and then you are going to choose which of your 3 plans that you are going to take through to activation, which happens in module 4. This is where you do all the work on how to make your chosen plan happen. So you get all the tips and tricks on how to test it, even what to say when you're connecting with people to be most likely to get a positive response for them. We also look at best practices of networking, setting goals, and we go into the detail of the accountability part. We also make sure that your social media profiles stand out, because whatever career you embark on, whether it is a new corporate career in a not-for-profit, or setting up your own business or going out as a consultant, social media is part of all of those and important. So we need to make sure that your profiles are aligned and that they are noticeable. And then we also look at you. We look at what you're currently doing. If there is something that you need to change or add to make sure that you can take on your new role with ease. So we're looking at potentially breaking habits or creating new ones or filling some skills gaps. This is also really important work. And this module will go on for longer than a week. But it doesn't mean that we can not start with module 5 in parallel. Maybe you're out testing. Maybe you're still busy updating your social media profiles or whatever it is. But we still start with module 5, which is important in regards to getting unstuck. Life will always throw us curveballs, and we will get stuck with challenges and problems. And here we really look at what is going on when we get stuck. We learn to look at problems for what they are. Sometimes we may spend a lot of time and effort trying to solve problems that aren't really solvable. So we'll give you the insights to when it's time to just let go and move on, and when it's something that you just need to get sorted. So we also look if there are things that you do repeatedly that sort of trips you up. So it's really all about how to keep going and make sure that you do not get stuck in the trenches. And that's what Module 5 is about. Then we have Module 6, which is about go and grow. So this is how you learn and unlearn. So we keep building on the elements of habits here and behaviors. Are there elements that you might want to change? Behaviors you might want to replace with better ones? All to make sure that we keep creating a life and career that we want to have. And I want to mention here that it's important to remember that life is a journey, not an outcome. And this really means that we need to keep look at what we're doing. We need to keep building and changing to make sure we keep living and having the life that we want. Okay, and then we come on to the 7th and last module, which is now and next. And this is where we really draw it back to this new career of yours. So how are you progressing towards your goals? What have you learned? Is it something that's not working? If it is, then do we need to reset our goals? Or what do we need to make sure we get back on track? And if all is going swimmingly, do we need to stretch ourselves a bit further to just make sure we go that extra mile? And we also feed in the element of ourselves again here. We focus on establishing practices that we can weave into our lives. So whatever we do, it lives with us, and it takes much less effort and energy if we need to sort of do it again. It's sort of understanding how it works. It's like driving a car. First, when you learn, you have to think quite a lot about it. But then one day, you just do it. And that's what we want to do with many of the practices we do here. And that's why we keep coming back to them, to make sure they become ingrained in us. So that are the 7 modules. And what you will create is up to 3 alternative careers and life plans. You also create a clear path how to make one of them happen. Or if it turns out that one of them is not right, then you go after the second one. An important part that you will create as well is a mindset that will allow yourself to take on this new role with ease and build the skills that will ensure that. You also establish the practices so you can keep building a life and career that you love. Well after completing this course, if you want to, you might want to come and revisit it in a few years, because you might realize you stagnated for one reason or another. Then you have this to come back to. And what you'll get a printed workbook sent home in the post. It's quite comprehensive with all the exercises for the entire course. Personally, I do think it's quite nice receiving something in the post these days. That's not a bill. But in addition, I think it's really valuable to have all your work in one place. Instead of having to sift through a pile of loose papers to sort of get your thoughts on track and connect with what you were doing, it's more easy then to have it all in one place, this book that you get sent to you. You also get lots of training videos that will help you explain the exercises and also help you build the skills and create the habits that you do need. Everything is 100% online, so you can do it all in the comfort of your own home at a time that suits you. You also get lots of cheat sheets and checklists to make sure that you get all the work done. And then every module has a few extras. It may be an inspiring article to read or a TED talk. All these things are supposed to help you on your journey. So they may inspire you. They may help you understand the content a little bit better. And then another thing, one of the most valuable things that you will get is access to the private Facebook members group. So this is where you get support, not just from us at TAC-SHE, but also from other women just like you on the same journey, creating a new career. And I know that together we do know more and we do better and we are stronger. And this is really the power of the community. You will get so many useful tips, and you will also have so much to share that will bring so much value to other people. So I definitely believe in the power of this community. So then in this Facebook group, we also have weekly Q&A calls. So if you do get stuck, if you have a question that you haven't managed to answer, then this is a great way to get that answered, and also maybe to get some tips if we've come up with something extra that's worth mentioning. But then we have an additional thing, and it's a weekly group coaching call. And this is really a unique opportunity to get coached on a challenge or problem that you're facing. And the power of group coaching is that it's not just your coach that will ask you questions and help you sort of get deeper into your thinking and understanding, but also other people that will have so many valuable insights and knowledge and will be able to reflect so you can get the maximum out of this. These are really powerful, and if you do decide to join, I definitely encourage you to register for these and attend them. So now I'm sure you're wondering how much this is going to cost you. And the investment for getting all the steps to create a new engaging career that fits perfectly with your life in as little as 49 days is $797. This may sound a bit expensive, but if you compare it to what career coaching generally costs to get you the results that you get here, then we're talking thousands. But also do remember, as I mentioned in the beginning, I have a bonus for you. So if you join the Career Design Lab today, I will also give you a next step guide for free. This is normally $297. And this guide will really get you set up for your next career. So when you identified it, you tested it out, it includes the stuff that you need to get ready for interviews, really understanding what people are generally looking for in interviews, just to make sure that you can be as well set up and prepared as possible. Also lots of questions to think through. You also get the step-by-step instructions on how and when to negotiate your salaries. There is so many little tricks to this to really make sure that you're getting what you want and should be asking for. And if your next path is to set up your own business, then you get a startup guide to get you on your way. But it doesn't stop there. I also have a fast action bonus for you. And I offer this as I have found that people that are ready to take action often get great results. And to be honest, getting new results is the only thing that really matters to me. So if you are ready to join the Career Design Lab now, in the next 24 hours, I will offer you $100 off. And this offer will literally expire in 24 hours. So after that, you have to pay the full price. So those were the bonuses. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think there is a reason for you not to give this a go. As if you do join and for some reason change your mind, there is a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you get a full refund if you really feel that this is not going to get you to where you want to be. So no concerns there. So now, when you know the practicalities, I'd like you to take some time and imagine waking up every morning feeling excited. And even on days when you had a bad night's sleep, you have that slight bounce in your step and a smile that doesn't want to go away because you know you'll have another day at work doing something that you truly enjoy and that is also aligned with your life. A perfect match. And if this is what you want and now feel ready to create your new career the easy way and join the Career Design Lab, all you need to do is to go to tag-she.com/join. And to get the $100 off, put in the discount code yes please at checkout. So got it? At checkout, put yes please in the discount code and you'll get your $100 off. And if you do come up with any questions after we finish the Q&A, or if you have any trouble ordering, then send us an email on hello@tag-she.com. Or to me, you received the emails from me prior to this masterclass, and that's hannah@tag-she.com. Any questions, we are here to help. And what we really want to do is to really get you going, creating this new career. And so, of course, we'll do our very best to answer the questions as quickly as possible. So that's it. If you're ready to join, go to tag-she.com/join. And just before we move on to the Q&A, I wanted to finish with a quote. The minute you begin to do what you really want to do, it's a really different kind of life. And this was said by Buckminster Fuller, and I think it's really the essence of what I'm trying to convey here in this masterclass today. So, okay. Now, time for questions. So if you haven't already, please ask in the chat box. And let's see what we have received. Okay, so let me check. First question here from Jenny. Jenny is wondering what happens if I don't manage to complete the course in the 49 days or the 7 weeks. Oh, the answer here is nothing will happen. You will have lifetime access to this course, and you can take as long as you need to complete it. So if your kids turn out sick or you go on a holiday for a couple of weeks, no worries. Though we do try to encourage to not leave it too long between the modules, just to make sure you stay connected. And especially when you're trying to break or create new habits, the repetition is actually quite important, but that will all be outlined to you. So simply, nothing will happen. You have lifetime access. I hope that answers that for you. Then Juliana is wondering about the printed workbook. How long does it take to receive it? This varies. We generally post it the next working day after the order has come through, but it of course depends on where you live. So within Europe, it normally takes 2 to 3 days. To the States, slightly longer, and other countries as well. And then I know for sure, having lived in a country like South Africa, it can take quite some time. To make sure that you all can get started though, week 1, you get an electronic version in the course to make sure that you can get started. If for some reason you've had issues and have not received it for the second week, of course, we will make sure that you get an electronic version of that as well. But normally by then it has turned up to most people. So that was the workbook. Okay, Lindy wonders about the activation module. So do I need to do things in a specific order? Not really. So what we generally encourage is that you start with your testing conversations, setting those up, because those are of course the ones that can take a little bit longer. You don't know how long it exactly will take you to find the right people and to connect with them and actually getting the meeting set up. So you start with that. So maybe you have your testing conversations in the diary and then start working through the exercises of setting your goals, making your plans around accountability, updating your profiles and the work around you. And you get all the steps on how to do it. So it's really quite clear. I hope that makes sense. And Meral is wondering if I can explain the why question a little bit more. So the why question is that element of why Are you looking to change career? Really reflect over that to make sure that you'll create something that is right for you. So even before you start looking into what's engaging you, you need to know what problem you're solving. And it's as simple as that. So it's one simple question: why are you creating a new career? And if the first answer doesn't quite satisfy you, that you answer, and then you can ask the question why again. It will help you get a little bit deeper down to really identifying the root cause of the situation. I hope that makes sense. Let me see, was there another question? Yes, the coaching call. Tell me a little bit more about that, asks Veronica. Yes, so these coaching calls, they are slightly different from the live Q&A calls. So they are set up as meetings here on Zoom. So everyone who is attending, when they talk, they will be on the cameras. Everyone will be tuned in to what they're saying. And it's really quite a powerful environment where you get to pose a challenge or a problem or something that you'd like help solving, but you're not going to be told what to do. You're going to get the opportunity to really discover for yourself what you need to do. And I think that the powerful part with coaching is really that I'm not saying that you know it all, but you have the power within you to discover the best way to solve this. And that's where coaching can be really powerful. And group coaching with people that are sort of understanding what's going on can really help excel what's going on and propel it to make sure you get the full power out of it. So that was the coaching call. Those are actually the questions I have received for now. Please put anything else in if you have any more questions in the chat box. I will stay on for a minute or so just to check that there is no other questions coming through. While I do this, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you for joining for this masterclass, and I really hope you've got some valuable information and steps that you can now start activating your next career. I really believe that we all have it in us to have great lives and great careers. What that is for you to define, but we should all try to find that and live that way. So, and of course, I'm hoping I will see you joining us in the Career Design Lab, and we can really get this new career off the ground quite fast. Okay, so as no more questions have come through, I'm going to say thank you so much. Have a lovely evening and bye for now.